Welcome to the Courier and Daily Comets weekly prep football preview. It's a feature that we're going to be doing every week for homeoftoday.com and dailycomet.com, where we preview the upcoming slate of football games. First off, McDonough comes to Thibodaux Thursday night. McDonough, District 10-4A team, finished last season 7-4 overall and reached the second round of the playoffs. Talking to the coaches, Thibodaux coach Dennis Lorio says that looking at film, McDonough 35 is strong along the defensive line. They've got a two-lane commitment at defensive tackle in Kenny Welcome. And considering that Thibodaux is replacing all five starters along the offensive line this season, that's going to be a key matchup, key battle to watch in the Thursday night's game. Thibodaux's offense obviously is going to run through Trevon Reed, considered the number one college prospect in the state of Louisiana, but also expect fullback Brandon Duncan, the other returning starter on offense, to contribute. As far as McDonough 35's offense, that runs through their quarterback, Thetis Cobbins, who is a dual threat quarterback. Coach Lorio said one of the big things is to keep him in the pocket, don't let him use his legs. And Thibodaux should have success if it turns into a passing game. They're returning three players in the secondary. Teddy?
Well, this week I'm going to be covering the Holy War, which is E.D. White versus Vanderbilt. It's going to be at E.D. White Stadium, Peltier Stadium. Last year, these two teams didn't get to play because of the hurricanes, and this year they get to renew their rivalry. E.D. White was 4-6 last year, losing to Lunch in the first round of the playoffs. Vanderbilt went 3-5 last year. After a coaching change, the Terriers are hoping to improve on that record, and there's no better way to get it started than with your rivalry. It's very rare we have such a big rivalry in week one. Key factor for this game is going to be the injury bug. Both teams were missing key players in last week's Jamboree. I think E.D. White had 12 players missing and Vanderbilt had about 10. Coach DuPont said his entire offensive backfield was out. Both coaches expect to have a lot of players returning this week. E.D. White lost to Assumption last week 14-10, but Grant Chasson, quarterback, ran for 93 yards. He showed some good playmaking decisions in their little option offense, spread offense. And Vanderbilt, I thought defensively, I thought they did well against Thibodaux. They did give up one big play, but they struggled to stop some of the running game. Hopefully, if he gets linebackers Chess Morrison and Ed DuPont back, that'll help their run defense. It should be a great battle. Again, as the two Catholic schools, high schools in our area, there's a long tradition of playing each other. Again, it should be a fantastic game.
Talking about how heated of a rivalry it is, considering that they didn't get to play each other last year, I bet they're probably really raring to go, huh?
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those, again, like I said, one of those rare occasions where you start off the season with a traditional rival that's a big-time game. Other than district, I think this is the biggest game on E.D. White and Vanderbilt's schedule, and I really believe that they treat it like it's a Super Bowl. But the fan bases are close. There's a lot of interaction between the two schools. There's a lot of familiarity, so I really think it's something to take hold, and it comes up to a crescendo this week. Talking about Thibodaux McDonough 35, that's not going to be an easy matchup for the Tigers. McDonough 35 is one of the better public schools out of New Orleans. Coach Wayne Reese, he and I go way back, and that's going to be a load for Thibodaux coming for Thursday night.
Oh, definitely. Like the coaches had mentioned, the key matchups are along the lines where both teams are young. Coach Reese mentioned to me that he's got a few freshmen starting on their offensive line, and Thibodaux has all new starters on their offensive line. So it'll truly be a battle amongst the lines. They say that's where games are won and lost, and this game could really make that statement truthful. Yeah. Moving on to some of the other games Friday night. Assumption at Live Oak, 7 p.m. Friday at Watson. A note from the game, Assumption finished last season 0-9, but they've started this season by winning their scrimmage. They traveled to Woodlawn for a 24-8 win, and then in the Jamboree they defeated E.D. White 14-10. So they're getting off to a good start to putting last season's winless year behind them. How about your games, Teddy?
Ellen Terrebonne this week, a big game here in Houma. You know, it's going to be a rival game, and after Terrebonne's performance and Eleanor's performance last week, I think you're going to be looking for a high-scoring affair and with a lot of yardage being racked up. So a lot of good matchups on top for Friday night and Thursday and Saturday, and if you got some time, you ought to head out to a stadium nearby you.
That's right. I think the best thing about these matchups is that it's finally getting started. The long off season finally coming to an end tomorrow night.
Yeah, without no hurricanes or storms, I mean, it's kind of some normalcy. So hopefully this will help our season get going and hopefully help our teams, you know, do well this year.
All right, and for all the results from this weekend's game, pick up a copy of the Courier or the Daily Comet, or check the websites, homeoftoday.com, www.dailycomet.com, and we'll be back every week. So have fun on Friday night.